Right off the top this midday, new details on the breaking news we've been following all morning. That deadly bus crash in Virginia Beach.
Police and 10 on Your Side have been on the scene since just after it happened. Here's what we know right now. The accident happened just before 7 a.m. on Holland Road and South Independence Boulevard. Here's the view only Chopper 10 can give you. The bus was headed to Bayside High School.
35 students were on that bus. 11 students went to hospitals in Virginia Beach, and the driver of the car died at the scene. We continue our team coverage of the crash. 10 on Your Side anchor Don Roberts is live at Sentara Princess Anne Hospital, where some of those students were treated.
Erin Kelly is live at Bayside High School with reaction from students. First, though, we begin with 10 on Your Side's Deanna LeBlanc.
Deanna, you've been out there for about 5 hours now, shortly after the crash. What's the situation now?
Katie, the situation is finally clear. The scene is clear and traffic is once again back open in all directions, but still over on the center of the road remains a dark spot. That serves as a reminder to all the drivers of the tragedy that happened here this morning. A terrible accident Tuesday morning. Virginia Beach school bus number 66 plowed into the back of this sedan.
I just heard a loud noise because you couldn't see the car.
What did it sound like?
Like a train hitting something, you know.
Joyce Calhoun was one of the first witnesses to rush to help.
I noticed because the sparks underneath the car that it was a car underneath the bus and a man laying underneath the tire of the bus.
The force of the crash ejected the driver from the car. He died at the scene. Calhoun says while 2 others tried to help the driver of the car, she focused on the 35 high school students on board who witnessed the crash.
It was everybody's reaction when you see it and you hear the kids scream to stop, get out your car, run and go and see, you know, if everybody's okay. And that was my main thing.
She ushered the students to safety across the street, many of them shaken.
Scared, very scared, you know, they screaming, running.
While a family grieves the loss of their loved one, 35 others are counting their blessings. None of the students were seriously injured. Now, Katie, Calhoun tells me another man also rushed to the scene to help with a fire extinguisher. He was able to put out the flames underneath the car before they spread to the school bus. Katie?
All right, Deanna, thank you very much. And next, we head to Sentara Princess Anne Hospital in Virginia Beach. That's where 10 on Your Side anchor Don Roberts is right now. Don, when we broke into programming just before 11, you told us about some students who showed up there, and they were pretty shaken up.
They were shaken up by a pretty harrowing experience. They were on the bus when it happened, and some were doing a variety of things, sleeping or studying, and then the crash happened, and of course it was a shock to them. Now, 7 of the students were treated here at Sentara Princess Anne. Another 4 were treated at Sentara Independence, and most were expected to be treated and released by this time. We caught up with the first two of the first ones who were treated as they were leaving the hospital, anxious to get back to school, and they talked about their experience.
I was sleeping on the bus and my head was on the window and I hit the window and then the back of my book bag and I heard people yelling and that there was a man under the bus.
I was like just sitting there doing my homework and then I looked up and then my friend Louis started yelling, slow down, slow down. So I looked up and then my head bumped into the seat in front of me. And then like I just saw smoke like from the window.
There is some complaint of headaches. We had one child who was talking about having some neck pain, but my understanding from the nurse in charge of the operation here is they'll virtually all be treated and released sooner or later once the parents get here and, you know, they're cleared to go.
And Dale has since told us that the students have been treated and released. Some anxious parents are relieved that their children were not seriously injured. And those who wanted to go back to school, especially the 2 that we talked to, were anxious to get back to class because they had exams today. And one was thinking beyond exams and getting back to field hockey practice. So some good news here at the hospital, no serious injuries. Back to you.
Don, thank you. Definitely a tough day for those students. We're going to head now to Bayside High School. That's where the students on that bus were headed. We're told they were all part of the Health and Sciences Academy. 10 on Your Side's Erin Kelly live at the school now. Erin, what can you tell us?
Well, as you can imagine, it was scary for some of those parents who showed up here at the high school to meet their kids. This is where they were told to go. They were told to not go to the scene. About 24 of those students came here on another bus. They were greeted by the school administrators, emergency crews, as well as counselors here. And the school says the students had a chance to call their parents or have the school call the parents for them. And there were 35 students total on that bus, as you mentioned, headed to Health and Sciences Academy. But the students said that they were sleeping. They heard shouting before the crash, telling the driver to stop. Some of them told us that others on the bus had hit their heads, had hit their chins. We talked to a student who said that, she started crying after this happened. A lot of students started crying, panicking after this happened, shaken by it clearly, and many of their parents told us they were shaken by what happened. Now, we know that of those students that did not go to the hospital, about 9 of them were going to stay here and go to school. 15 of them went home with their parents, and the school tells us tomorrow they will also have a crisis response team here. But for now, we'll send it back to you live from Bayside High School in Virginia Beach. Erin Kelly, 10 on your side.
Erin, thank you. And we have a lot of the same questions as you about this crash, and we'll be working to get those answers throughout this newscast.
Our reporters will be back at 12:30 with the very latest information. We'll also have you covered all afternoon on wavy.com. Of course, we'll have an update for you on Wavy News 10 beginning at 5.